hit that day, it's like, wow, like, this shit is for life. Repeat what you said.
What's the tough part about being a frat?
Last word.
Frat.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm here with Bandwagon on another episode of Real Talk, and I'm here with two guests. I'm kind of excited about it, so here they are.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Johnny. I am president of Kappa Sigma Epsilon.
My name is Daniel, and I'm the treasurer of Kappa Sigma Epsilon.
Kappa Sigma Epsilon. Okay, so what are you guys about?
So we are generally about promoting leadership and long-lasting bonds and within our brotherhood. I don't know if you ever heard the saying, 4 weeks for life. It's generally a lifetime experience of connections that you can make in the long run. Just the amount of brothers that we have out here in the past that are spread out all throughout the world. They still come down from the 80s, 90s, still with their letters from when they had made it through, just promoting our fraternity and what we're all about. And it's just a long-lasting just brotherhood that it's a long-lasting connection that just is never broken.
Dude, that's gotta be kind of cool to like see some of the old apparel, like some of the older shirts, like where you guys were to where you are now. That's gotta be kind of cool to see.
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine.
Not just that, like even stories, like, you know, when we have alumni coming down, all the stories we hear from the 60s, 70s, you know, it's honestly amazing.
Do come on, do you got one? Do you got one you can share? Doesn't want it. Come on.
I can't really get much into detail about it because it, you know, involves a lot of pledging stuff and whatnot. But just hearing how they were able to, you know, still maintain tradition of, you know, Kappa throughout the years, and just how we followed through with all that is just, you know, it's beautiful to see and hear everything about it.
Fair enough. So as the treasurer, what are your duties?
As a treasurer, I pretty much just handle the finances. I make sure money is allocated into correct budgets, is used for the correct, you know, times and events and whatnot. Just making sure we have enough money for the semester to do what we do.
Right. So every time you throw an event, you know, is that why you guys have to charge? So you have some money coming in?
Yeah, like if there's an event on campus, for example, and we had like a barbecue, and there's like we have like we have burgers and hot dogs and whatnot. Yeah, like, you know, we were to charge people, you know, because like we're buying the hot dogs and, you know, we want to have a good time, but sometimes we don't charge people.
Fair enough.
So I mean,
do you guys get any funding from the school or anything like that? Because I know the clubs do.
Yeah, we don't get any funding from the school, unfortunately, but our philanthropy, TIE, we are a student senate, we're funded, so that's what helps out our philanthropy. By the way, our TIE suite, Teach, Impact, and Power, located SLC 410. So if you need suit apparel for interviews or any job interviews coming up or presentations throughout class, stop by the suite, check it out, get some apparel that you need, some suit jackets, pants, shoes, all that, etc. Stop by.
So they can come by anytime you guys are in there, you know, and just be like, hello, I need a jacket, I need a tie.
Yeah, we're open from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Any other way to get in there would have to be you can contact a brother or a member of TIE if it's like on the weekend, and to see if we're available. We can always meet you in the TIE suite, and we can get you if you need anything.
Dude, that's kind of nice because like, what do you call? I've had a couple of days where I've done like a mock interview or something. I got a lot of dress codes, so I kind of left them at home. Not a lot of space in the dorm, you know, but it's kind of nice to know that it's there.
Yeah.
So that's a cool thing that you guys do.
Okay.
So what do you call? Can you tell me about some of the history of your frat? You know, where it comes from, some of that origin story.
Yeah. Do you want to get into that, or you want me to do it?
I mean, you can start. Get that on.
Yeah. So, the history of our fraternity, it starts off, well, here in Alfred, we started in 1954, but we were all established throughout the 1800s as Kappa Sigma Kappa. It was founded by 4 people in Lexington, Virginia. We had the colors purple and gold. So if you see here, it's Kappa Sigma Epsilon. Before we were Kappa Sigma Kappa, so it's K and then another K at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And then 1954, we were established into a New York Epsilon chapter, into Kappa Sigma Kappa. So then throughout here at Alfred State, we have been active and alive.
Yeah, so like, eventually in Alfred, national fraternities got banned. So that's when we branched off into Kappa Sigma Epsilon to still maintain the same traditions and whatnot, but not get kicked out of Alfred.
I didn't know that national fraternities got banned. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, it was a lot of hazing. A lot of
During that whole hazing debacle.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting, getting some background on that, because you guys would obviously know a little bit more about that than I would, because it's a little dated, and I feel like that's very specific to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the changes that were made in correlation to the history. I believe it was in 2012 or 2013 that there was apparently a hazing law passed here that fraternities and sororities and we're not allowed to haze anymore, and a lot of it is it's a completely different ball game. Pretty much what I could say. A lot of it has changed. We've adapted to those changes as a whole, not just regarding us, but the entire Greek community. And in regards to the Greek community, we all love each other. It's not more of a hate relationship. That's why we call ourselves a community, not just Greeks and organizations, where we all get together and we do community service, or we have all Greek events. Like this past week, we had an all Greek movie night in the SLC. That just shows the school and everyone that all of our houses are all together and well.
Dude, I didn't even know about that. That would have been so cool to go to. Like, I'm just trying to, I need to know about more of these events. Like, I'm trying to get more people, like, cross-pollination. More people showing out for each other. Some of the clubs and stuff, some of that, we got, like, low attendance in some things. And I'm like, why? Got to network better. Yeah,
we do have to network better. We're going to start posting a lot of our events on Pioneer Link and Cork, along with our posters. And we have a Instagram page, Alfred Greeks, where a lot of events are posted up there. Our pub chair, Lena, she's doing a really good job at it so far. So shout out to her. But yeah, we're going to start posting a lot of events. Like, there's some events coming up, like the Carly 5K for Relay for Life is hosting that. We have the Greek Chili Cook-Off, which is coming up soon. And we have a lot of other events that are Greek organized that will be posted soon.
Yeah, man. Any of that stuff, man, just, throw me an email. I'd love to, post you guys on our story, at least, to make sure, getting out a little bit more.
Perfect.
I'd love to know about it, because, like, there's a lot of students I've been finding who won't even know about events. A lot of students. And that's not, like, I don't feel like that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like some people would love to go, but because they don't know about it, because, someone didn't advertise correctly. Some of these events aren't really going off, like, the way they should, I feel like. So that's just me in my mind.
No, yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, I agree on that too.
Like, a friend of mine, David Harrell, shout out, he was on one of our previous episodes. Yeah, we know David. But what do you call it? He was literally talking about this. It's just, like, part of it is a big, like, school spirit, talking about how at Alfred we need to kind of change some of the things we're doing, be a little bit better at it, get people to show out a little more. Because, man, for some of this stuff, man, it's like there are cool events that, like, I feel like just are so dead.
Yeah, and I feel like that's something that us as organizations have to work on. Because I'm not gonna lie, my first semester here, I call it a hermit crab. My first semester here, I was a hermit crab. I only went to class, got food, and then went back to my dorm. I never went outside, never went to any events. It was until I met some of the brothers at Kappa, and they invited me out to it was a college football watch party. And then I got to meet all of them. I got a house tour, and they showed me a lot of things in the house. And from that day on, it all just hit, and I fell in love with it immediately. Shout out Matt Shaw. But ever since then, I started coming out more, and I got more familiar. So I think what I'm trying to get at is, I think it's organizations and clubs have to make students on campus feel more welcome.
Yeah, I think there has to be more word of mouth invitation. Like, if you have 5 people, 5 people that you invite to an event, they're going to come, and each of them brings 2 friends. Well, it's 15 people.
Exactly. Yep.
And then once you get that amount of people are going to get curious about an event that's going on. They're going to be like, hey, what's going on over there? Why are all these people there? So I feel like you just have to, like, there has to be a little more tie-in. Dude, you can't go wrong, man. It's hot dog day.
No, you can't at all. It's everyone comes down. Everyone is outside the parade. We're in the parade all the time. All the Greeks are. You'll see us in the parade. It's amazing to see everyone come back down. A lot of alumni from not just Greeks, from Alfred University. It's great. There's so many people, and I'm coming from I'm from New York City, so like I'm not used to Alfred really. I'm used to it now, but it's like a big change in scenery. And then once a lot of people come down for Hot Dog Day and big events, it kind of gives a glimpse of like whole.
Well, and there's a lot of diversity here. Let's face it. You get people from all over New York State. A lot of people from the city, obviously, but Rochester. What do you call it? People from Buffalo, like, or even some people from some of these smaller towns. So you get a lot of like diversity within one little group. So it's really interesting, like when you see like all these like, you know, events popping off or all these frats going about it. It's like, wow, kind of nifty. What else I got for you? All right, so can you share with me one of your favorite stories from your frat or anything like that?
Okay.
You know, a good memory, something that sticks out in your mind.
Yeah, anything, Danny?
I mean,
There's a lot. It's like singling them down.
I can name one of them. It was literally Saturday night. You know, back in spring 2023, we used to have a lot more fun, and like, you know, late nights and whatnot. And you know, it kind of stopped. We slowed down a little bit, but last Saturday night, just, you know, some of the new brothers, I'm like, you know what, we'll teach you what we used to do in the day, how we used to roll, and just seeing them enjoy themselves, and you know, me being in that same spot, you know, and having that fun, it honestly just brought a big smile to my face, because I'm like, this is what I'm here for, you know, make these bonds, make these memories, and help others make memories too. And it was just, that's one of the many stories, you know, there's so much more behind it and to it that it's beautiful.
Well, and like you'll see that in movies sometimes when they come back to a scene, like that's got to be interesting in your mind, like parallel event.
Yeah.
Like, you know, same scenery, but with way different people.
Yep.
You know, little reminiscing going on.
Yeah, I would have to say for me would have to be this past summer. We have an annual event every summer. It's called Steak and Lobster. So our past brothers, alumni, they bought our house. So they own our house right now, 23 Sale Street. And they formed a group called LSIG, Lion Share Interest Group. So they are the landlords of the house. They control all the money, all the bills, and all of that. And every summer, they all come down, and other brothers come down from all around the world, and they help work on the house for a weekend, complete jobs that need to get done. For example, one of the rooms in the house just got completely refurbished and renewed, new flooring, ceiling, electric, everything in the house. Balin's a lucky guy. And after they're done working, we have a fire pit out in our backyard. And me being the active brother at the time, I was here over the summer. It was around like 2 a.m. They were all just chilling by the fire, and we're talking like guys from the 80s, 90s.
Yeah, old heads.
Yeah, and I went out to the backyard, and they were like, "Oh, come," and they wanted me to sit down, and I sat down. I pledged fall 22. These guys pledged before I was born, and it's me, and there's like 3 seats each apart away from me, and then it's just alumni, and they're all sharing stories. They're like giving each other like punch buggies and picking on each other.
Shooting the shit.
Yeah,
Shooting the shit like we would.
Yeah, and it just it all clicked that day. It's like, wow, like this shit is for life. Like no matter where you are, how old you are, where you come from, what you do in life, you will always have your home later on in life, but you'll always have a second home here.
Yeah, same type of different.
And I realized that day. So, and that day opened my eyes up so much more. I appreciate this place so much. Just the values we bring. It's It's for a lifetime.
Dude, that sounds sick. And it's nice that you guys like that. What do you call it? Members of your fraternity own your house. Like that's nice because you guys don't got to be literally like what do you call it? Go from like jumping around from house to house to house.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know hockey's had that problem. Hockey house has had that problem for a couple of years now.
Yeah, we used to it used to be like that. We used to live where Delta Chi Omega is now. Yeah, we used to live over there. We bounced around, but then finally, 2019, we bought the house, and it's only been better ever since. The house used to be like old, and like the color was red on the outside of the house.
It used to be Theta Theta Chi's sorority house. It was AU sorority, and you know,
Yeah,
AU gone.
yeah. And then a couple summers ago, they painted the whole outside of the house black and white. So that's our house color.
New colors, man.
Yep.
New digs.
Yeah.
Dude, that's got to be so cool. Like, I can just imagine, like, to see, like, guys who are actually in the workforce who are a little bit later on in life, like, refurbishing a room for you guys.
Yep.
Like, that's such a big investment in, like quote-unquote youth or young men, like, to be honest.
Yeah, because, like if you think about it, it's like, yeah, like, once you graduate, like, you know, most people here, it's like, you know, once you graduate, it's like, oh, you know, I'm all of my life. You know, yeah, I was in a fraternity, but yeah, you know, I'm going to start working, making money. No, like they come down and they don't have to, but they go out of their way and put in work throughout the house and come down and check on the active chapter and see if we're doing good. They don't have to do that, but that's what's all being a Kappa brother is about. It's just the care in the world that they have. And I guess that's what makes us who we are.
You know, I'd wonder, I'd be so curious to ask some of those older guys, like, you know, what didn't they have, right? Like, you guys are lucky enough to have, you know, a group of, you know, older members by your house. Like, what problems did they have to deal with without any support? Like, what did they have to jump through to get you guys to where you are now?
Excellent.
Yeah.
You should. Because, like, man, you know, that's like oral history. That's like the spoken word. And,
Wow.
you know, got to get it, man. Because once it's gone, it's gone. You know, and that's not just with, what do you call it? Not just with fraternity. Like, that's with your family, like your grandparents. Like, what do you call it? Like, one time I asked my grandfather, like, where he grew up. I had absolutely no idea. None whatsoever. And, like, it was crazy to hear his story. You know, and so it's just stuff like that, like, that you wouldn't really, you know, think about in the moment. But, like,
It's deep in the end.
yeah, it does.
Wow. Yeah, that's all stuff you got to think about, I guess. You know, and you're right. You don't think about it in the moment, but over time, it'll hit you. Like, if you don't fully appreciate something, you will when it's gone.
Yeah, and you can't take it for granted because one day you're right, it is gone. Some people are gonna move on. Eventually, you guys are gonna graduate, and you know it's up to other people to like hold that torch. Like during the Olympics, when someone brings a torch, it's like you got to carry it, man.
Yeah, that's gonna be me soon with Danny. Pretty much, I'm out of here in about a year and a half. But Danny has some time here, so pretty soon he'll be president. He'll be where I'm at.
One would hope.
Yeah,
That's
Responsibility, my man. A lot of responsibility.
it is. Just as treasurer, I see how much of a responsibility he has to deal with, you know, all the stuff he has to do. And, you know, I want to get there eventually. You know, hopefully that's the goal.
Let's face it, it's tough. Like, what do you call it? Like, trying to advertise for your own frat, for you guys as a group. Like, it's tough. You got classes as well. You guys are still students. Then you got to add the money side of it, which, you know, is what you have to deal with as well. Like, you know, it's not easy. It takes a tribe to do.
Yeah, there's, you know, like I tell all my brothers, like, there's always a time, you know, where we have to get down to, you know, there's always a time to have fun and kick back and relax, but there's always a time where we're gonna have to be serious and
Rubber's got to meet the road, man.
Yep. And we just brothers got to flip the switch.
You know, got to take care of it, man.
Yep.
Because, you know, you can't slack too much. Like, obviously, you know, work hard, play hard, you know? Like, and, like, you guys are in such a, you know, interesting position because you're on a stage, right? What you do directly reflects upon all the other fraternities, the sororities, like, you know, brothers, you know, what you guys do matters for the whole community.
Yeah. And like, back to what I was saying about the other Greek houses, we all get along with all the Greek houses. There's for example, we have events with our sisters like Delta Chi Omega and other sororities and fraternities on campus or off campus, just helping up bring the morale between houses. And I believe that's a good thing that we're gonna need in the community.
True. So I have a question for you. What's it like to be linked to a sorority? How does that work? What's that process like? Do you guys oversee that? Do they just, couple off you guys? How's that work? What's that relationship like, I guess?
I guess it's not really like we oversee them or whatnot, but we're kind of there for support. Like, they support us, we support them. And at the same time, we create a strong bond between us, in which we have more people to hang out with and grow closer with, not just, just the brothers, but also the sisters. Many memories come across that, and, it's great to have them. Sometimes it's fun, but,
as with anything,
Yeah.
the sexes, right? Like, there's some things that y'all are going to agree on and disagree.
Right.
Yep.
And I always tell them, it's like, what family isn't dysfunctional? There's at least something wrong or someone wrong at some point in time. And, not every family is perfect. But we've been sisters with Delta Chi Omega since May 11th, 1955. So that's when we became brother and sister. There are other houses who are brother and sister houses. It's not more of like we're in control more of it because they're their own house. But they just, they operate the way they do, and we all come together in the end, like brother and sister should. And it's not just, and it's not just what I told you about the night I was outside of the fire. It's not just brothers, it's sisters too. They do the same exact thing, and you learn about it all.
Yeah, like just 2 weeks ago, except for the 70th reunion, it was 2 in the morning. I was outside. There was some brothers, but there was also probably the same amount of sisters, like older, pledged in the 80s, 70s. They were telling me how they were active when the old sorority used to live in our house. And I like a lot of more stories, but I was in awe. I was just like, wow.
How times change.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Time moves on. Kind of crazy.
Time to cherish all of this, like memories you make. It's like, and a lot of the newer brothers and other, Greeks or other people might not see it, but it revolves around everything. It's like, you gotta really cherish these moments and like have fun and like just enjoy them, because you're not here for long. You're
not here for a long time. You're here for a good time.
Yeah. Like, if thinking about it, we'll come back in 30, 40 years. We'll be the ones giving those stories.
Yeah.
And then, there'll be a new brother having the same feeling we did, just hearing those stories. And that's what gets me, like, just thinking about the future, about the fraternity itself.
That's what kind of keeps us going, is like how we can leave our mark here on our fraternity or here at Alfred State, and how can we look back on it in the future and like, yeah, we did that.
Yeah, and I can kind of sense like the vibe you guys are putting off, with how like good this makes you guys feel, like to be continuing on with what what someone else started.
Yeah.
So, I don't mean to bring this down, but I do want to ask, this is gonna hurt me a little bit, but it's like, as a frat, what is one of your biggest problems? Something that really gives you some trouble sometimes. Something that you would say might be annoying, something you have to deal with. What's the tough part of being a frat?
So actually, it's right there, kind of, what you said. And it's nothing against you. It's just, repeat what you said.
What's the tough part about being a frat?
Last word.
Frat.
Exactly. So, a lot of misconstrue us as like frats. And what would you usually take as like the general idea of a frat?
Guys at party.
Exactly. So us, along with the other frats here at Alfred State, we more, I guess, I don't want to speak on the other houses, but I believe they would. But we classify ourselves as a fraternity. We're a gentleman's fraternity. And we just try to promote leadership skills and long-lasting brotherhood and all that good stuff we talked about. So I guess the main issue is, and it's not you, I'm not talking about you.
No, but I can hear like this. I guess I'm hearing like a misconception.
Yeah, it's more of the stigma around like, oh, like frats, like, yo, like frat. It's like, no, like we're a fraternity, we're a gentleman's fraternity. We're here to serve. We have community service. All we want to do is better the environment around us. And there's just one of the biggest problems that we face is regarding that, and getting in depth regarding that is the stigma faced around us that Greek life is no good, and all they want to do is party and ruin stuff. And it kind of hurts because of all the stuff that we do. There's always going to be one person, regardless of who they are, or Alfred's staff, or someone's going to have something against us, and just because of a bad experience they might have had, or just in general. But we're trying to end the stigma of Greek life is bad, end Greek life. We're here, we're striving, we're not going to go anywhere. I'm telling y'all this right now. We're not going anywhere. We're here to stay.
Well, in a way, you guys can't, because if you think about it, right, people are going to party. People are going to do that regardless. With you guys, there's some supervision that can happen. Some problems that get solved on their own with you guys stepping in, trying to make sure that situation calms down a little bit. Everyone can have a fun time, but in a good way.
Exactly.
And without you guys, there's probably be some more chaos, to be honest. We probably hear more about bad events, to be honest.
Yeah, that is true.
Because without you guys, I don't know, is Alfred State really going to talk to any of the people partying? No, they're just going to be it's going to be the cops catching people doing stupid things. And then that's just going to add to a weird cycle of, misconceptions and, bad things happening.
Yeah.
So at least this way, you guys, they can have some input to you guys. You can have some input to them. There's what do you call it? It's like the water buffalo and the little bird that sits on it.
Yeah.
There's a relationship there that kind of works. One hand washes the other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. So anything else you guys got? Any socials you want me to shout out?
KSC_alpha. That's our Instagram. Make sure you follow that.
Yeah. Do we want to tag our?
Yeah, I'll tag you in there. I'll take a little part of the video, throw it up there. But any final words to you guys? You guys set?
Yeah. I would just like to say, thank you for having us here on the podcast. And thank you all for listening. Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for coming out. We appreciate it, man.
No problem.
See you, bro.